What's up everyone and welcome to another Warframe video. So those arbitration changes went through and I'm going to have a video on that in the next couple of days. One thing that didn't change still was the drones and making them easier to see, which is what's led to this video. This is my 5 top choices of weapons to deal with those drones without actually knowing where they are. I will include my build as well, and if that includes a Riven, I will give in alternatives that work just as well. The drones can be a giant pain in the backside to see, whether you're colourblind or not. They duck and dive around behind the enemies, they hide around corners, and if you have any trouble with your vision, they are damn near impossible to see. So these weapons are going to help you deal with those drones in the easiest way possible. So let's start with my preferred weapon, the Plasmor. Everybody knows the Plasmor at this point. It fires a giant projectile in front of it that has unlimited enemy punch through, hits everything that it passes through. What this ends up meaning is that you only really need to fire it directly into a group of enemies, and even though it might do 0 damage to most enemies, if there is an arbitration drone in that group there somewhere, it's likely to get killed. The best thing about the Plasmor is that it is a beast of a weapon. What you have here is a weapon that will not only deal with the drones, but enemies up to super high level too. You can see it dealing with 120 plus enemies with ease in the footage, and you can go even further if you don't have it modded for the wrong faction with the wrong damage type like I did. It's a fantastic weapon and honestly by far the easiest one to not only deal with the drone, but everything else as well. In the build you can see a Riven, however you can switch that out for laser sight to make it more crit more often and more reliably, or more crit damage with shrapnel shot to make it hit harder when it does crit. Similarly to the Plasmor, you have the Mini Plasmor, the Kitgun, the Catchmoon. It works in absolutely the same way as the Plasmor does, firing through groups of enemies, allowing the punch through to do the work. Again, fire randomly into a group and hope to find the pesky drone. Once that drone is dead, the Catchmoon is more than powerful enough to deal with the newly increased scaling enemies, and allow you to not only have a weapon that easily deals with the drones, but the enemies that come with it as well. I am rather attached to my Catchmoon. I have a real nice Rivet on here, but honestly you can change it out for Auger Pack, that does the job more than good enough. Hydraulic crosshairs on here again for crit chance, sharpened bullets for crit damage, any of those work. Even a primed Bane mod for the faction you're facing in the mission. It doesn't help with the drone, but that isn't that difficult to kill, but it does help the weapon scale against that faction even better. One weapon that doesn't scale quite as well, but is probably the easiest to take down the drones, the least amount of effort, and that is the Ignis Wraith. I mean, it's literally a flamethrower. Point the front towards the enemy, blaze away into a group of enemies, and hope you take down the drone. Then once you've taken down that drone, you can merrily douse the enemies that are now not protected anymore in cleansing fire. This is by far the most popular option for drone elimination right now, so I'm not going to spend too long on it, in fact no longer on it. It is a fantastic option for dealing with them very easily. A weapon that is chronically underrated though is the Amprex. It's one I've actually played around with a couple of times before I settled on the Plasmor, but it absolutely deserves a spot on this list. The thing about the Amprex is that it arcs between enemies within range of each other. So what you can do is shoot any enemy in a group, and either the entire group dies from the frankly pretty damn good damage that the Amprex has now, or if the enemy is protected by a drone, the enemy you are shooting will take no damage, but the beam is going to arc from those enemies, usually to the drone itself, and will destroy it pretty quickly. It is super effective, although it does get pretty ammo hungry at higher levels. I'd recommend bringing a carrier's ammo case here, not only to help with your ammo reserves, but also the built-in ammo conversion that ammo case has. A few people on my Twitter yesterday mentioned using the Amprex for drone destruction, and it was definitely one that I just had to put on this list. Then finally, another weapon that works in this very similar way to the Amprex, and that is one that often gets forgotten, and that is the Atomos. Functionally, it works exactly the same way as the Amprex does. You shoot any enemy in the group, the beam will leap from enemy to enemy, including the drone. Once the drone explodes, you're already shooting at the enemies and already applying the damage the instant they become vulnerable. The only downside of the Atomos is that the chain, like the actual range of the chain beam, is only 7 meters, unlike the Amprex's 10. so occasionally the drone will hang back out of range of it and will not get affected. So you might have to change to a different target. Doesn't happen super often, however, it's good to note that it can. So these are the 5 weapons I'd recommend to deal with these drones in the easiest fashion. Not saying that these are the only options, but these are the ones that I've personally found to be the easiest and the most effective. Another one to try out would be the Satchel, for example. Another fantastic weapon, and only just missed out on this list. So this is, like I say, by no means is this exhaustive. Sometimes though, if you struggle with something, you've got to get creative when trying to find a solution to deal with them. I'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments below as to what you use to deal with them. I'm still compiling my thoughts on the changes to the game mode to provide as calm a feedback as video as I can, although I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on that too. However, until that video, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.